Nicholas Hoult is the new Lex Luthor, and he's a great choice. Now, we haven't seen him play the role in the upcoming Superman film, due later this summer, but as an action figure, he fits the bill. Lex Luthor is one of Superman's oldest enemies, himself having been modeled after the original Ultra-Humanite, but that's another tale. Lex Luthor was at first an evil super genius, always bald. Here, much like in the Man of Steel movie and the other Zack Snyder DC film, Lex is mostly a young, smart businessman inspired by the 1985 reimagining by cartoonist John Byrne. This figure is cool, so let's find out why. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, affiliated since 2002. Like and subscribe. Alright, Lex Luthor. Here are a couple of heads from Lex Luthor. Well, frowning face. Smiling face. And the regular Luthor face. I believe that some reuse on this figure, and unfortunately the texture that's used for the upper thighs, well, the thighs, is not the same texture that's used underneath here for the legs. So this part was used for another character, and these are brand new parts just added. The knees also were used with the other character. What it means is that, well, the texture just doesn't fit. They try to put some texture, but it's not the same at all. You can't see it as well, but there is a break. Like, there's lines, vertical lines, very tiny lines that you can't quite see here. Well, there's none here. Another criticism I would have is that those legs are way too long, way too long. The thighs are the right length, but these are way too long. So I don't have a movie Superman, but you could see that Lex Luthor is almost the same height as the classic Superman. Not a good thing. They should have given him shorter legs, but then this is DC Multiverse with crazy scales and so on. What else is different and new? The head for Lex Luthor is perfect, and because they give us several heads, you can probably reuse those guys for army builders and so on. Anywhere else, other lines, you can reuse those heads. They're perfect heads to be reused for other characters and so on. So enjoy for that. Obviously, McFarlane could not give us that mask head trunket thing that they've been using with some of their figures, like Guy Gardner here. They couldn't do it because he's bald. So we would have seen the cut here. Guy Gardner works because, well, he's got a hairline. Now, I like the figure. I know a lot of it is reused. The one thing I really don't like is this part. It's hollow. There is nothing underneath. So there's a torso part, and then there's this. It doesn't even bend properly. This is just empty space, empty air. I don't like that. I find that the shoulders are a bit too wide for Lex Luthor, or they should have given him a larger head. But that's the aesthetic that McFarlane tends to go for. Tiny heads, bigger bodies, but clearly the shoulders are way too wide for this character, for this guy. If you look at the head from the back, you can see he's really have a too small head. Head's too small for this. Now the articulation are fine, very fine I should say. So that's not a problem. He comes with other hands. A fist and a trigger hand for his left arm. You could put a weapon there if you want. I really like the suit. I'm glad that I didn't buy any other Luthor action figures. This will be my stand in for all the Luthors that I've got with my DC Multiverse collection. This Luthor, the movie Luthor, is good. It's quite a change from playing Beast to now playing Luthor. You can move the hips, and unlike other McFarlane figures, you can bend his hips here because there's nothing here, it's empty. Nicholas Hoult also played in Mad Max. He was kind of a Dreadnought-ish type of character. Well, if you understand that Mad Max inspired the Dreadnoughts in G.I. Joe. So he was one of those. I believe he was like smelling or eating paint or something, sniffing paint. So he had kind of a white face with the paint he was sniffing. I like this character a lot, except for this part. I wish there was something else. Not so squishy belly. And you can almost see when you rotate too much, you can almost see that there's nothing here. I guess it's a cheaper way for McFarlane to give us figures. And they've reused this thing with other figures in the past. I just got myself an Alfred from the Batman Begins trilogy, and he also has no belly. He's taller than Metamorpho, about the same height as Superman. And that's all he came with Baby Kaiju. We don't know what Baby Kaiju is in the movie quite yet. We don't know yet if he created this creature, if he is this creature, what it is. But somehow he's responsible for this creature being around and being a threat to Superman and possibly Metropolis or some other city wherever the action takes place. Baby Kaiju has almost, well, only 3 points of articulation. He can raise his arms, the shoulders, and he can also rotate his head slightly if you press too much, but I don't want to press too much. I don't want to break Baby Kaiju's head. It's not moving too much. Now I don't know where I can use this creature. The design reminds me of some of those Young Justice. Not the Star Lab, the other lab where they created Project Cadmus. Reminds me of the Project Cadmus characters. So maybe there's a Project Cadmus affiliation in this movie with Baby Kaiju and Luthor, which we know in the comic. Ah, there it is. Luthor was involved with Project Cadmus, where all those creatures were created. So maybe that's the connection. We'll know soon enough, obviously. Well, there's not much to say about Luthor. I guess I can remove his head and show you how the other ones fit. It's a long peg. Let's put the smiley one. Smiley one might be the good one because he's a villain. And like I mentioned, you could customize those heads easily to fit other character and other figures in your line. In terms of stability, Luthor stands up pretty well, I should say. Now he looks like an evil villain. I believe we saw Mercy, his bodyguard, in the film. She was attacking Crypto or something like that. So that would be fun if we had a Mercy action figure. I don't recall having ever seen a Mercy action figure in the past. Yeah, I think I'll leave him with the smiling, evil grin, evil villain face. And the sword, I'll just put something else instead of the sword. I've got so many weapons, shouldn't be a problem. Some kind of crazy weapon would look good. Some kind of crazy gun. Oops, I lost the hand. Got some of those Power Rangers guns. One of them might look good. They kind of look like some of these things here, like retro cosmic type of ray gun. So why not give him one of those? I think he should look good with those. And that's Luthor. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, fill you in since 2002. Like and subscribe.